Have you ever wondered how your favorite apps just work? Most of the time, anyway. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on this unseen force called software testing. It's basically the one thing standing between a perfect experience and, well, total digital chaos. Let's dive in. Okay, so we've all been there, right? You're deep into something important, and the app you're counting on just quits. It freezes up, crashes, completely fails. But why? Why does that even happen? And what's really at stake when the code decides to go haywire? You know that sinking feeling when a glitch just wipes out hours of your hard work? Poof, a document is gone, a photo you love disappears, or maybe all your progress in a game just vanishes. That's what happens when a software bug leads to permanent data loss. And sometimes the stakes are way, way higher. A tiny little flaw in the code can become this wide open door, putting all your personal info at risk. We're talking about serious security breaches here. And then, of course, there's the classic crash. The application just freezes solid, the screen goes blank, or the whole system just gives up the ghost, usually right when you need it the most. All of these problems, they all point to one critical thing. Yeah, all of those frustrating and sometimes pretty scary failures, they bring us right here to our first big topic. We really need to get why testing matters so much and how it really is the silent hero of our digital world. So what exactly is this hero we're talking about? I mean, what is software testing? Well, at its core, it's the process of checking out a software application to find any defects. But honestly, it's so much more than just bug hunting. It's about asking the tough questions, like, does this app actually do what it's supposed to do? Is it secure? Can it handle millions of people using it at once? You can really think of it as the ultimate quality control for, well, everything digital. And if you look at it from a business angle, the numbers are just staggering. Check out this chart. It shows you how much it costs to fix a bug depending on when you find it. See that little bar on the left? A simple fix early on when a developer is writing the code might cost next to nothing. But if that exact same bug gets all the way out into the wild, into the post-release stage where you're using it, oh man, the cost to fix it, between customer support, patching the software, and the damage to the company's reputation, it can literally be 100 times more expensive or even more. So when you put it all together, testing isn't just some nice-to-have final step. It's absolutely fundamental. It's what ensures quality, it's what keeps users like you and me happy, and it's what provides that critical layer of security. And in some industries, like banking or healthcare, it's not even a choice. It's a mandatory requirement to protect people's money, their health, and their trust. Okay, so we've established why testing is so incredibly important, but how do teams, actually do it? That brings us to our next section, where we're going to break down the main ways testing gets done, the core testing types. All right, the first big split is basically human versus machine. On one side, you have manual testing. This is where a real person clicks around an app, exploring it just like you would, trying to find things that are confusing or just plain broken. On the other side, you've got automation. This uses code and scripts to run thousands of tests over and over and over again. This is perfect for making sure that a new piece of code didn't accidentally break an old feature. That's a super common problem called a regression. The other big difference is what you're testing. So you have functional testing. This basically asks, does the feature work? Can you actually log in? Can you add something to your shopping cart? Then you have non-functional testing. This asks, how well does it work? Is it fast? Is it secure? What happens if a million people try to use it at the exact same time? Both are super important. Now, it's really important to get this. Testing isn't just a one-time thing you do at the end. It's actually a layered process that builds confidence every step of the way. Let's take a look at how this quality is built right in from the very first line of code all the way to the final product in your hands. And honestly, the best way to wrap your head around these levels is to think about building a house. It all starts with unit testing. This is like checking every single brick to make sure it's strong and has no cracks. Next up is integration testing. This is where you make sure the walls, which are made of those bricks, all fit together perfectly. After that, you've got system testing. Now we're inspecting the entire house, the plumbing, the electrical, the roof, to make sure it all works together as a complete system. And finally, the last step is user acceptance testing, or UAT. This is like the new homeowner doing that final walkthrough, checking every room to make sure the house is exactly what they paid for. And this whole layered approach, it's not just random guesswork. It's all guided by a formal plan, a kind of roadmap for quality. In the industry, this is called the software testing lifecycle, or the STLC for short. The STLC is this really disciplined step-by-step process. It starts right where you'd expect, with requirement analysis. First, you have to understand what you're even supposed to be testing. From there, the teams create a plan and design the specific test cases, and only after they've designed the tests and set up the right test environment can they actually start running them. And see, it's a cycle. They find bugs, report them, developers fix them, and then they test again. This whole process makes sure nothing important gets missed. All right, so we've covered the why, the what, and the how of testing. But what does this all look like out in the real world today? For our final section, let's look at the modern world of testing, from the powerful tools that people use every day to the amazing career paths it's opening up. Yeah, the entire industry really runs on this whole ecosystem of amazing specialized tools. So for checking if a website's features actually work, tools like Selenium and Cypress are kind of the gold standard. For testing APIs, and you can think of APIs as the messengers that let different software talk to each other, Postman is what everybody uses. And for really pushing a system to its breaking point or trying to find security holes, testers use powerful performance and security tools like these. Seriously, getting good at any of these tools is a really valuable skill to have. But here's maybe the most important thing to understand about testing today. It's not some final step that happens right before a product goes out the door anymore. Not at all. In modern software development, there's this thing called CI/CD, which stands for Continuous Integration and Continuous Delivery. It's basically an automated pipeline. What that means is every single time a developer writes some new code, a whole bunch of automated tests run immediately. This builds quality in from the very beginning and lets teams release new features much, much faster and with way more confidence. And of course, all of this importance translates directly into some really cool career opportunities. You might start out as a QA engineer, running tests. From there, you could become something called an SDET. That's a software development engineer in test, who actually writes the code that automates the tests. Or you could go into a specialty, like security testing, where you basically get paid to be an ethical hacker. Your job is to find the weaknesses before the bad guys do. How cool is that? This quote really just sums it all up perfectly. Without testing, the software industry as we know it would just fall apart. It really is the backbone of quality. So, what's the one thing you should walk away with? It's this. Software testing is that invisible but absolutely essential process that makes sure the digital tools we use every single day are correct, secure, fast, and stable. Which leaves me with one final question for you. The next time you use an app and it just works flawlessly, you book a flight, you post a photo, you finish your work without a single hiccup, just for a second, maybe you'll remember to thank the invisible army of testers who made that smooth experience possible.